Let me wish you a happy holiday to you. And let me wish happy holidays to anyone watching this video. But let's get to the points because I really don't want to make another video. So, you said that I said that every country has its own motive in attacking America. My friend, I am not worried about any country attacking us. The last thing I am worried about is America being bombed by enemy aircraft. A country attacking us is so down the list of my concerns that I am more worried of a monkey virus escaping from some random test lab that carries the potential in transforming us into the, I don't know, living dead. Point being, I am not worried about any country, nor have I ever stated in my previous videos that a country possesses a motive in attacking America. All my previous videos spoke of were of a radical philosophy, not a country, because our current threat of Islamofascism can transform itself anywhere, including here in America. Because this threat of Islamofascism is not isolated to any one Islamic nation or Islamic nations. If it were, I would be taking this threat um, much lighter than I am now. And that is why I am opposed to Ron Paul. Because you said that how can you judge an individual on one issue? If you agree with him on many issues, which I do, then you should support him. Well, my friend, I see it differently because this radical philosophy that is backed by religion is the single most threatening movement, for lack of a better word, and should be taken more seriously than even communism. Can you imagine if a candidate for the presidency back when the communist uh, ideology was still a threat came out publicly speaking of how we should leave communism alone, and how we should let things work out naturally? That candidate would be booed from the stage and thrown into the gutter. Because you have to understand something. We have to attack this philosophy and try to contain it. Because, and this might be foolish of me to say, but I believe this threat will last longer than two communist regimes put together. This is a world threat, a threat that is calling for an Islamic principle on all. And what I mean by Islamic principle is that they want to enact Sharia law upon all infidelic nations, us included, because we are an infidelic nation. And and I have given this example more times than I can count. But look at Western Europe, for example. Western Europe, like France and Germany and all those other countries, have given into the demands of many of these individuals. They are accepting these people. They are funding their um, palaces of hatred. Um, and and what are these people giving back in return? They're spreading their hatred for the West in publicly funded facilities. My point is, these people are receiving everything from the government, acceptance and all of that other good stuff that people, I don't know, enjoy. But you have to look. My point is, the European country uh, has taken the burden upon them to pay for all these uh, I don't know, facilities, for all these healthcare benefits, for all these welfare checks, and the and how does this radical philosophy give back? They scream death to their country, to the country of residency, and they scream for Sharia law. Because you have to understand something. This philosophy is not a country, but an ideology. And this um, has nothing to do with a country. It's a radical idealistic movement within a single religion, not a country. I'm not terrified of a country. Philosophy, my friend. Okay, now next topic. Uh, okay, now back to the topic that has been hitting a brick wall. I do not support Rudy. I like Rudy on his view on Islamofascism the same way I like Ron Paul when it comes to abolishing the IRS, which I see as the single most corrupted agency to ever exist. Because because you have to understand something, my friend. Support is such a strong word that applying me with applying support and me and Rudy in the same sentence is completely foolish by any standard of imagination. So, to conclude this point, I see Rudy as being a damn liberal who recognizes the threat of Islamofascism, which I see as the single most threatening ideology uh, to our system of democracy. And our system of democracy is the building block of America and the West. Because if you destroy democracy, you destroy everything, and that is why this issue is so important to me. And then you said something about me having to research Ron Paul. My friend, how much more research must I do? I read his book. I read Ron Paul's book, Foreign Policy, A Foreign Policy to Freedom, and I've Googled Ron Paul more than I can count in a single lifetime. My friend, I just disagree with him on the issue that I care most of. Issues I care most of. It's like me saying go and research Rudy, because if you do, well, maybe you'll like him. Maybe you miss something, because you um, don't support Rudy because you disagree with him. Same here. Uh, now, now for your so-called rebellions. The whole point of me pointing that uh, the story of the Muslim woman being raped because she was walking with unidentified men of Muslim men, because she was walking with a man who was not related to her, and then thus justifying rape. The whole point of me pointing that story out is because you are failing to see that this is a way of life, something that they have been taught, because they are not rebellions. Rebellions question an ideology, but these, in your implication, rebellions are not questioning anything. They are blind followers who are imprisoned by people when it comes to their criticism skills. Why else, and this is a broad example, why do you think these people get so angry that they are willing to kill someone because one questions their ideology? And let me think of an example. The Danish cartoon is a perfect example. Some newspaper illustrated a picture of Muhammad, which is forbidden by Islamic law. And because this picture was illustrated, some of these radical imams placed a fatwa, a religious fatwa, on the illustrators of the cartoon, calling for their death. Let me ask you something. Would a modern ideology, would a modern philosophy, would a modern way of thinking, would a modern mindset, whatever, call for such brutal actions because of a single picture?